Hi, and welcome to this video module on security for your Zoom classroom. All right, now Zoom, as well as anything else, the best security is going to be you yourself. So when it comes to making sure that your Zoom class is protected, we want to make sure that you are not sharing out your Zoom link to anyone. So instead of, say, emailing everyone within a group email, it is better to actually post that Zoom class link into Google Classroom itself. Only your students and those parents have access to Zoom that way, or your Zoom class that way. Whereas if you're sending your Zoom link out to a group email, there's a chance that maybe there's a former student, potentially a disgruntled student, former student, could get a hold of that and then come in and Zoom bomb. Or it could get shared out that way unintentionally, especially if an address was misentered. So always share your Zoom class link in Google Classroom itself. That way you know you have the most up-to-date information of who's in your class and who that link is going out to. It's also important to stress with your students that they do not share that password. It's just one of those things. We're relying on them to be honest and truthful. And if they share that password out, it does put them in jeopardy as well as their class in jeopardy. And it's just a whole lot of stuff we don't want to deal with. It's also important to note, too, that if a student shares out that link, we will find who shares it out. It's plain and simple. We have that kind of access, granular access to find out where that information is going. So keep that in mind. If you are sharing an individual link to a parent, make sure you are only sending it to that parent and to the email registered on file with administration for that parent. If you're setting up Zoom for personal purposes, that is one thing, but please refrain from using your personal meeting link for any of those. Instead, create a one-time use scheduled meeting link for that. Otherwise, you can run the risk of other adults entering into a classroom, and that would not be very good for anyone involved. Right, now that we know some basics on Zoom security, it's also important to remember our waiting room. Your waiting room is actually going to be like your best line of defense when it comes to protecting your classroom. When you have that waiting room enabled, it is going to filter everyone into that waiting room first, and then you can approve them individually or approve them all. This allows you to check usernames that are coming in. If a student has put a username that is inappropriate, you can just not let them in the class, maybe email them explaining why afterwards. But you can do that. I would encourage you to at least take a screenshot of that just so we have it for our record purposes as well. Your waiting room, too, is also your line of security. Say you accidentally did send out a link to somebody who shouldn't have received it, you can at least prevent them from getting in that way, or from any hackers trying to Zoom bomb. If you are sending a link, again, make sure that is not posted anywhere else on the internet except through Google Classroom. If you do run into any security issues, what you should do is immediately end the meeting by selecting the end meeting and end meeting for all. That way it can shut down what is happening, and then please immediately contact your administrator and IT department to inform them what has happened. If you are watching this video for the purposes of training here at CCLS, please feel free to email me with any questions, or the IT department with any questions that you may have. Or if you have questions because you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to leave those in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.